Storm of Doom!
Welcome everybody to Storm of Doom. I am going to do a arena battle with BO versus BO. I know a lot of people are struggling with this one, and I figured this would be a good video to kind of help people out on best attack orders and reasons why attacks are being used. So here we go. Key is to also make sure you check your power level before you start. In this case, as you can see here, Thanos always goes first, so you want to use his basic attack. It is very critical to use his basic attack and not any other attack starting out. And then Proxima is going to use her special on squishies, so you want to try to aim for squishies first. If all possibly before Cull decides he's going to taunt. Once the other Thanos on the other team uses their special attack, which we call mirror matching, then when your Thanos pops up, you can use the mirror match, which is his special attack. But don't use it before they use theirs. It is very critical. And then Corvus and all the other guys are going to use their ultimates going right after that. They're obviously going to try to... they're going to have to target Cull because of his taunt. But whenever you can, to try to go after all the squishies to try to take them out first. And as you can see here, it's just, we are just slaughtering them in this power average. And then Thanos, when he uses his AoE attack, that is going to be his ultimate. And that'll be good to finish taking out some of the other characters, which it looks like we took out his maw, their maw. And then now they're just hardcore, just targeting Cull right now because of his taunt to try to take him out. Yeah, Thanos is a little more of a pain in this case, but we got him out, got Cull out. And now Proxima is the last one, which is surprising because usually squishies are usually the first to go down on that. So, alright, so to continue on after the video here on explaining why those attacks were attacked, I decided to go to the msf.gg where you can actually check out the character's abilities. I really recommend people creating an account if you haven't. As you can see, my account is actually Mandy Lee. That's what I started out as before Storm of Doom, but I figured it was just easier to use my YouTube channel name for these videos. So now you can find me either way. But Storm of Doom is how to check my videos out. So first things first here, I have Thanos opened, and he has regular Thanos and empowered Thanos. So he actually has two different types of abilities here that is important. So you need to make sure that if you are looking up his abilities that you know which one you need to use them for. In this case with a BO team, if he has all 5 of his BO characters that are with them, you definitely want to make sure you're in the empowered Thanos section. So first things first, we were talking about how the basic attack should be the Infinity Blast. It's his first attack. Never want to really use any of these other ones first right off the bat, especially his time shift. This is going to be because of the fact that he flips all negative effects. So if you're doing a BO versus BO match, there is going to be a Thanos on the opposite team. And so the key really to winning the match is to wait till after the other Thanos actually uses his time shift. Because if you use your time shift first and you put all negative effects on their BOs, and then their Thanos goes ahead and then decides to use this move right after, now you have all of those negative effects put back onto your team. So it is very critical that you wait. Do not use this yet. So Infinity Blast, you want to make sure you're using his basic as much as you can. And then once the other Thanos uses this, then you can use the time shift so you can get all those on there. The the ultimate attack for Thanos here, it will actually, it's an AoE attack, so it'll hit all the characters, and it will actually reduce the speed of all the other characters as well. So you actually get a faster attack rate and have more chance of hitting their guys. So this is a nice attack. I really like this one. And he will actually do this twice. So, what else is nice with this is it won't miss either. So that is also really, really good. So, a little bit about his passive here. We always call the last attack, and the fourth attack, they want to say a passive. This isn't something that you can actually select. It's just something that is added on to the character itself. So his ultimate power, he actually, when he says the first time this character or Black Order ally drops below a 50% health, so when he actually drops his health, his speed bar actually goes up by 50%. So he actually becomes faster. And then he also applies regeneration, which is nice. And he also does it to all of his other allies. So this is actually a nice thing. So this is automatic all the time, you know. So this is what will happen to your Thanos and your other Black Orders. If this happens to your Thanos, then the speed bar will go up. He also will gain 100% extra resistance, and he will actually lower all the armor and damage on all of his other enemies by 10%, which is also critical, which helps you become that much stronger. Alright, so that is Thanos. Alright, and then you can also filter in here. So when you're actually in here, this one is just, you have your alliance cluster and your roster. This is just the actual home page, so you can just get it by the character list here. So if you're in there, you can toggle back here. Then to filter through here, you can go back to BO, and we'll go to Corvus next. So Corvus, which I really like, we consider him a squishy because he's not very tanky, but he is actually a really good character. He's fast, and he has stealth, and he actually does some really strong damage. He's actually a pretty good strong damage dealer. So in the video, as you can see, for Corvus, we started off with his ultimate. So he attacks his primary target by 320% piercing damage. If he is stealth at this point, he will actually do double the damage. So, and he will also, with that, apply defense up. If he's not, this will not happen. Just so you guys are aware. So you might want to wait sometimes until after he does his special attack, where he applies taunt and stealth, and then he'll be able to do double the next time around. What's nice about this one is if you end up using this one first, he actually attacks all adjacent targets by 240% piercing. So if you know that Cull is going to be taunting, which of course he always has taunt on, this is a great attack because it will target the character that is directly next to him and help get him out. So in this case, it just depends on, if you wanted him taunt. I didn't want him taunted because he is squishy. So the reason why I went with his ultimate first is because I didn't want him getting knocked out right away. So that was the reason. And then when his basic goes on, he actually clears 2 positive effects as well. And he also gains assistance from Proxima. So they're always assisting each other, which is nice. So it's like a counter hit or a counter attack back. So his passive, on spawn, he automatically gains offense up for 2 turns. And then it says he will give, obviously, Thanos Mind Stone. But it's automatic because if Thanos has all of the characters, they all have their own stones, and it automatically comes. So it automatically will empower him right away, and that's why this is a passive. But he'll automatically gain offense up for 2 turns, which is nice. And then if this character drops below 50%, he will automatically stealth, max of 2. So we were just talking about the stealth here. So if we don't use this, but yet somehow his 50% drops down, and then you use this, then it's better, because then you don't have to worry about him taunting as well on that. And when he also stealths, he gains 40% crit chance and 20% crit damage. So he's critting, which is nice. And he gains 30% extra damage when he has the Black Order. And he gives the Black Order allies 30% damage as well. So it's an extra gain on the damage, which is nice. So that is Corvus for you, and the reason why he is really awesome. Alright, so Cull is next. And Cull is pretty awesome. He is your tank guy, and he should be pretty beasted. He really should be one of your stronger guys on your BO team, because he really needs to sustain. I know a lot of people don't have their Cull very strong, but once he goes out, if he goes out first, you're probably going to end up losing the match. It's going to be really hard to come back from that. What I did was I ended up using Cull's special first. This one is a little tricky too, because I'm sorry, that's his ultimate. Yeah. Sorry. I ended up using his special first, and normally I try not to use this one right away unless he needs some like health healing or he needs some negative effects off. But I ended up using this one first because of death proof. It is critical because if he is getting hit a lot and targeted because of his taunt, it is good to have the death proof on. But in reality, you really only want to use this if you really need negative effects, taken off, or he needs some health, because otherwise I feel like it's just a wasted attack otherwise. Because you can get additional death proof as well on self with his ultimate attack when that comes up, and he also actually transfers all positive effects on himself as well. So he also like removes like all the effects because he has all the positive effects transferred to him. The attack for his basic is just a damage dealer. What's nice about this is he kind of works like Corvus does, where he actually hits the adjacent target as well. So if there is another taunter on the other team, in this case would be Cull, he will hit the target right next to him. So the first basic attack is actually pretty nice on that. Payback is his passive, and he automatically gets defense up for 2 turns, and the powered stone that we talked about will be automatic to Thanos. And what's nice about this is that when an enemy attacks to like Thanos or Ebony, like so when the other player actually hits one of those 2 characters, that enemy automatically gets 250% damage to him. So that is actually nice. It's like almost like you hit those 2 guys, and like Cull will actually will actually have them damaged more. What else is nice about this character is if he drops below 75, 50, 25 health, he gains 1 death proof up to max of 5. So this one's really nice, and the max of 5 is really based off of what you have maxed out over here. So it is important that he gets all of his stuff T4'd. Actually, it's important that all the BOs get their stuff T4'd for this, so that way you can utilize all of their abilities to their fullest. What's also nice is that this character actually has regeneration and 1000% resistance. So he is a pain to go down when he is a beast. And can get kind of annoying sometimes if you are going up against a little bit of a stronger Cull for this as well. He also gains 30% max health, and he also applies that to the other Black Order teams. So that is really nice to have. Alright, so next we're going to go to Ebony Maw here. Ebony is your healer, so he's also important. I don't have mine like super strong, but he should probably be pretty strong as well, because you want him to sustain as well, so he stays healing your team. For this case, I ended up using his special first. This one is just always a habit for me, but I like his special because he applies defense up for 2 turns on himself and all of his allies, so his entire team. He applies counter on himself, and then he also does it for all of his allies and Thanos allies, so it's important to have that. And then he also applies defense down for 2 turns on his enemies. So it's like we're defense up, their defense down, you know? And then he clears counters from all enemies too, which, so if they try to counterattack you, you know, this clears it, which is nice. So I really like this attack for him and try to utilize it as much as I can when I get it. The other thing is, like, I know Needle Storm is pretty good because he does 80% piercing. He attacks 3 times, up to 60% piercing, and he applies bleed up to 2 turns, which is nice. I love bleed. Bleed is one of my favorites. Eventually I'll be making a video on that with my bleed team. My symbiotes are my favorite, and just always I love their bleed, but, so eventually I'll be doing a video on that as well. So you'll have to stay tuned to that. And, but onto his, like, ultimate attack here. What I like about this one is he, steals, it's kind of like, a mini Irva in a way, where he steals, like, it's AoE, it takes all the health from people and he redistributes it back onto his characters. He can repeat this attack 4 additional times, and then he applies slow to all the enemies for 2 turns, so it really slows down their speed. But then he increases the speed bar on the Black Order and Thanos allies by 5%, and then he reduces an additional speed bar on all the enemies. So he's really slowing them down, which is awesome. So then you're just getting a lot more extra turns going on here. And then Ebony of Thanos, this is his passive, and what I like about this is always automatic, like I've been stating, and he has 2 regenerations, and he has death proof and immunity for 2 turns. So this is nice. So it's like if he just gets targeted right up front, at least he's got some death proof going on, and it'll be hard to take him down right away. Which is another reason why you should always aim for squishies, and the squishies are Proxima and Corvus on these for the Black Order team. And then, of course, he gains 30% resistance as well. So, and he gives 30% resistance to the team. So it's just a very nice support character for this. Alright, last one for BO, for Black Order, is Proxima Midnight. So she, I used her basic first on this one, only because the real reason is because when I use this one, I want to save it for after they do the mirror match with Thanos, because she applies, offense down on the opposite team, right? So if she does that and then they mirror match, then it's back on her. So I really try to save this one and not use it right away, and I try to use just her basic up front. And then after the mirror match, then I try to use her star throw. And then that way, nothing gets wasted, or you don't end up getting that back thrown onto you. So, her star throw, it attacks the target at 250% damage, and it applies the defense down for 2 turns like we talked about. And you can chain up to 3 targets within 2 spaces of the previous target for 200% damage. And then it applies an additional defense down for 2 turns. But if somebody dodges you, it will break this. So a lot of times people forget this, and this is really important. That's why if you ever battle against a Wolverine, or what's the other one that's really annoying, and I can't think of it the second. But when anybody who has the dodge ability, it's just annoying, because then your chain gets broken and it's like your attack goes right out the window. So you just gotta watch out for that. Last light is her ultimate, and she targets for 300% piercing. She also reduces the speed bar by 50%, which is nice to the opposing team. She also applies stun and slow as well, which is great. So she can stun people. So this attack, you want to make sure if you're going to do this one that you are hitting a target that you don't want to kill right away, because otherwise you're just wasting the stun. I have a bad habit of that because I just see, ultimate, and I'm like, oh, ultimate, hit it, and then it's like the guy goes down, or the character goes down, and you're just like, wait, there goes my stun, so if you know there's a character that you're not going to be able to take down right away, that is like the perfect one. In this case, it'll probably be good for her to hit it when Cull is going on with his taunt, because he has all that death proof going on. So you hit him with that, and then he stuns it, which is great. Alright, so her, like we have already talked about, her basic attack, she will also clear 2 positive effects as well. And she will also assist Corvus, like I said before. They will assist each other, which is nice. And it can't be dodged or blocked, which is even better. So, her passive attack, which is what she starts with, or what she automatically always has. So she gains speed as soon as she spawns, which is great. And she obviously gives, her stone to Thanos. And then she has an additional speed up for 2 turns. And then on turn, she can clear stealth from the most injured enemy. So if the other team has a character stealth, which will probably be their Corvus if we're doing a BL match, she can do that, which is nice. If he ends up being targeted first as a squishy, and then he can't use it, so then you can actually help take him down a lot quicker. And then you gain 30% focus, and to both, her and the rest of her allies. So, but thank you for watching, and I appreciate the time. And if you like, go ahead and hit subscribe below. I will do more videos and try to be a little bit more organized with getting you the information correctly. Thanks again. Thanks for watching.